Good morning, everyone. Good morning. All right, we got about 5 minutes until the show starts, but semifinals. Ooh, we can take a look at the bracket as well. So this is what we got. Yesterday, we checked out the match Dinkin-Rosenthal down the stretch, and Rosenthal barely managed to squeak that one out, even though still have no idea what's going on with the scores. I guess we'll find out. Did we fix them today? Masika defeats Tomasini by quite a bit. 43 imps, it looks like. And throughout their run, it looks like Masika had a pretty easy first round match. They won by over 100. And then Smederevac gave them a run for things. Masika was behind going into the last set, but managed to pull it out. Close victory there. So this could be an interesting match. But on the other side of the bracket, we have the two big powerhouses, and I think this is probably going to be for who wins the event. Fleischer against Zimmerman, so we'll focus on this match today. It's not as if Rosenthal or Masika are necessarily all that weak of a team. They definitely have chances to win against the strong Fleischer-Zimmerman squads, but from what we've seen, I mean, Fleischer and Zimmerman both getting a third quarter concession in their matches yesterday, and also both winning by close to 100 imps in 3 sets. Fleischer more so. I think this result is a little bit more impressive than Zimmerman's result, although that could be just because Dyson is a bit of a weaker team than Grossack, or so it seems, but that will be the big matchup for today. So we'll try and focus on that one. I haven't heard any updates on the scores or anything, so I suspect we're going to get about the same production quality today, where no one's going to have any idea what's going on scoring-wise. A bunch of people are going to make some really incorrect but loud claims about whose fault this is. Just another day in the bridge community. But hopefully we can watch some fun bridge. I mean, there were a bunch of cool hands yesterday. Multiple Phantom Sacrifices at the 6 and 7 level. 2 redoubled contracts, I think both of which went down. No, one of which made with multiple overtricks. Yeah, it was kind of fascinating that the best thing to do may have been to run from the opponent's redoubled contract into yourself playing that suit and getting doubled, despite being vulnerable on your end. Kind of amusing that one spade redoubled making an overtrick was almost a push board against 2 spades doubled down 3 the other way. But I do wonder what happened with the scores in general, because if VuGraph was as reported, and the scores coming through were as reported, it kind of sounds like there were multiple VuGraph errors that cost, 20 or 25 imps. Because based on my kind of tabulation, the match actually went the other direction, Rosenthal against Dinkin. But anyway, we're here for the bridge, not necessarily for figuring out who wins. Also a bunch of laughs. So any minute now, we'll be getting moving. And I think the request was basically to not watch the French pair yesterday, or at least that was the request that we got, since they are a little bit slow. And by a little bit, I mean they can be a lot of bit slow. So Zimmerman should be in for the first set. Fleischer will be out. So I guess that means we want to watch the table with Versace and Samantha, regardless of who the opponents are. Maybe we'll watch the Versace Samantha table. Hey, Johan. Good afternoon or evening. So there's Brink Driver, Kalita Klukovsky. I assume Kalita Klukovsky will be in for the first set. And then they'll sit out for the second. So if we get a Versace Samantha against Kalita Klukovsky table, that could be exciting. They didn't play off against each other in the World Bridge Games, right? I think Poland was the team that ultimately took down Switzerland in that event. I could be wrong, but I think that was the case. So either way, this will be a fun matchup. There are currently no live VuGraph broadcasts in progress. I'm going to take a look and just see if there is a Risinger broadcast at all planned. Looks like no. Wait, yes. Okay, we found it. But the ACBL once again has, so yeah, no broadcast for the opening day. I guess they probably aren't playing behind screens on day one. That seemed to be generally the case. But then during the semifinals of the Risinger, and I assume the finals, if I keep scrolling, there are a lot of events happening this weekend. Oh my. Yeah. So Saturday and Sunday, the semifinals and finals of the Risinger. Why are they starting so early? Wait, what is this? This is an hour and a half ago. So they're starting an hour and a half earlier for the Risinger? What? Who thought that was a good idea? This is 8:30 a.m. and that's going to be with a 30-minute broadcast delay. So the players are starting play at 8 a.m. That's crazy. What were they thinking? Okay, but important to note that the ACBL has decided they don't want commentary for this thing, which means I will just be on my... Well, I have a lot of work to get done. We'll see if I can get my work done. Because since I'm basically taking this week off to do the commentary, I do still have a lot of work to do before Sunday. We'll see. I'll try and keep people apprised on maybe Discord. But I do have Friday off at least, and that means, or Friday off from bridge coverage, which means I can spend all day working on Friday. I was planning to spend all day working on Saturday too, but we'll see how much I can get done on Friday, I guess. Anywho, that's coming up. And either way, BBO has been explicitly denied permission to host commentary for the Risinger, which is like crazy. I honestly think no one listens to me. I posted like a big thread on Bridge Winners last year about this and made it very clear that the ACBL was screwing themselves over But it's okay. I mean, they like hurting themselves because, I don't know, they're sadists, masochists. All right, Zimmerman, Fleischer. So, Samantha Versace, Zimmerman, Nowosadski. I think let's go to that table. I mean, the bigger crowd is going to be at this table because there's no sponsors in, but this table will be fast, which was requested, at least by chat. So here we go. I don't know if Michael's going to join me, but we're going in. Good morning, everyone. Getting started bright and early for the semifinals matchup between Fleischer and Zimmerman. Welcome, Michael.
Hello.
And this could easily be seen as probably the premier matchup of the two semifinals today. Both of these teams, lots of accolades between them. And we're getting started with a 2-spade contract on the first board. How did North get to 2 spades? Oh, North, of course, opened 10 to 12 no trump, and they got a transfer sequence to reach the contract. Diamond opening lead. Declare just fires one back, setting up the 10 in his hand and kind of forcing the opponents to play side suits themselves. This will allow West to get a heart ruff immediately. But then after the heart ruff, I wonder how West is going to defend. Obviously, if we flip the ace and king of clubs between the two hands, then a club switch looks pretty attractive. But on this actual layout of the club suit, a club switch would be ill-fated from West. So he might just return a diamond. It is somewhat safe, even if Declare happens to have the 10 and 9 of diamonds, which seems somewhat unlikely from the carding so far, but is possible. East will be able to ruff the second round of diamonds. And there it is. There's a diamond return. So Declare can win the 10 to pitch a club, eventually planning on taking a club finesse. He does have a bit of difficulty in guessing the spades, though. It's very unnatural to try and ruff a diamond to the south hand to lead a spade to the jack. So it may be the case that he also misguesses the spades at this point and ends up going down 2. Like king of spades, jack of spades. If that holds, we ruff a diamond over, pull the last trump, and then take our club finesse to try and make the contract. Seems like a pretty simple plan. But we'll see what Samantha does. Either way, the fact that Zimmerman didn't return a club is pretty positive for the defense, because now they're going to be able to collect 2 club tricks when Declare leads that suit himself. He does decide to ruff a diamond. And is he going to play a spade to the jack? I suppose that's the real question here. I don't think either East or West really had an opportunity to enter this auction, so, you know, placing one opponent with the spade queen, Declare probably doesn't have much of an inference about that. Given the heart split, certainly Declare would like to play West for the queen of spades, but it is a little bit challenging to do so. But yeah, East ruffing with that 7 of spades might actually get Declare to go right, if he wasn't already planning to. He leads a club to the king, East gets to win. Club to the queen, third round of clubs, and then declares in a position to guess the queen of spades for down one. And he should get this right. If East had the queen of spades, he would have made a really weird play by ruffing with a low spade from Queen Doubleton. So he would be holding on to two hearts in the singleton queen of spades here. So spade to the jack, well guessed, but unfortunately with the ace of clubs offside, Declare was not able to bring this contract home. And on to board two.
The way ViewGraph starts a little late, it's okay that the first board was kind of dull.
Yeah, we have been getting off to a bit of a late start. As Michael has pointed out before, bridge players often aren't morning people, and especially this late in the event, it's not as if we have a 120 table movement that we need to organize across multiple sections. There are just 4 teams, and are we really going to penalize all 4 teams for showing up 5 minutes late? Probably not.
So, East is open, 1-0 trump, a little bit light depending on your range, and they're going to wind up in the wrong 5-3 major suit fit. Hearts is, I think, a bit easier to navigate 8 tricks than spades, and spades, well, it looks like North-South are going to compete to 3 clubs. Looks like North's not going to pass this double. North could bid 2-0 trump to get South to pick a minor, but South will pick clubs. With a 1 card more in clubs than diamonds, you can do that because partner will pick clubs with equal length, only pick diamonds with more of them. And if partner happened to be something like 1-4-5-3 for their double of 2 spades, now you can find your 5-3 diamond fit instead of your 4-3 club fit with 2-0 trump.
Yeah, exactly. Since, of course, South could be a little bit off shape for this takeout double. So they get to 3 clubs.
And let's see, it looks like 2 diamonds, 2 clubs, and a spade, unless something helpful happens for the defense. And it's possible the spade ace could go away if the spade queen is stolen. East leads a low spade, and West leads a low spade, and East gets to put in the jack instead of the ace.
Yeah, which easily could happen. So a spade opening lead, Declare with a small singleton versus the singleton queen would always play low at trick 1 here. So East is faced with a little bit of a guess, and a lot of the decision,
the 9 or the 8.
Yeah, a lot of the decision depends on what East thinks South's shapes could be. Because if South is 1-4-4-4, of course you want to hop up with the ace. The king of spades is not a useful discard. Pitching the 4th diamond would not help. Pitching the 4th heart would not help. But if South could be, and he does stick in the jack, if South could be 1-4-3-5, then a spade discard would be efficient for Declare. So now 3 rounds of hearts, pitch a diamond from the north hand, and with trumps or clubs 2-2 and diamonds 3-3, Declare shouldn't have any issue whatsoever making an over trick in this contract, losing just 2 clubs and a diamond. He goes after roughing out the ace of spades, which he knows to be an East hand with shortness, given the transfer bid. So this seems perfectly reasonable. Another
safe
spade.
For the hearts to cash, because no one has 6 of them on this auction, too.
Yeah. 3 rounds of hearts, ace of diamonds, and a diamond. And Declare is mostly just going to have a high cross ref at this point, but he will be able to establish the king of spades.
See the claim come in for the other table, which is, we know, is this one.
Yeah, unfortunately, we've been battling the scoring errors all week, and it looks like we're going to continue to have those problems today. But hopefully you're here because you're enjoying the bridge and not necessarily all that interested in who turns out to be the winner of the match. We should have some exciting deals and good bridge all around, hopefully. South opens a club, 14 count. This is well outside of their 10 to 12 no trump range at these colors. West does not stick in a very late one heart overcall, passes. So it looks like North-South are going to have a free reign on this auction. North bids a heart, showing 4 or more spades. South can bid 2 spades, showing his minimum no trump range with 4 spades or thereabouts. A 14 count from North, so South is either, say, 11 to 13 unbalanced or 13 to 15 balanced.
Yeah, I don't think the North hand is particularly slammish here. He seems to have made some sort of effort either to get to 3 no trump or to get to slam, but and South is in context a maximum, so can we construct decent hands, hands that make slam good? Ace King 4th of spades, and we've got to be in a weak no trump range. Maybe we're thinking about a stiff heart. Ace King 4th of spades stiff. Queen Jack 3rd, it's 10, and then we need the Ace of clubs on top of that. It's kind of a very specific hand that might have been three spades too.
Well, North decides to give up. It doesn't even bother cubiting. On this lie of the cards, Declare will be on a diamond guess for 12 tricks, losing just the club ace, and the King of Hearts is on side. Although, if we guess West for the diamond queen, we could also pick up the suit for 4 tricks there. Jack of clubs lead. So all in all, not a terrible slam to be in if you do end up there on these cards, but North-South do stay out of it. East doesn't have a lot of good options after the Jack of clubs to the King and Ace. Certainly diamonds into the King 10-9 does not look appealing. He decides to play back a club. Which Declare sticks in the 6, forcing out the 10, and roughs. So Declare can now pitch hearts on the Queen 9 of clubs, not taking the heart finesse. And then he'll just be on a pure guess for the Queen of diamonds for the last trick. Once he discovers that clubs are 6-2, he'll probably decide to play West for the diamond queen. Yeah, now he sees West show out on the Queen of clubs. So I guess alternatively he has the option of pitching a couple of diamonds and cashing the Ace-King of diamonds before deciding what to do. That way if the diamond queen falls, he wouldn't have a guess. Otherwise he could rely on the heart finesse. But it looks like Declare is just going to pitch a couple of hearts and then probably play West for the diamond queen, as he does here. 12 tricks. Well done. And we're well ahead of the other room already. Only 3 boards in, but they're lagging behind a little bit. The East-West partnership in the other room is known to be a little bit slower than the other pairs in this event. West opens a diamond. Nice 10 count, 7 card diamond suit. couple of aces. 2 hearts looks like a reverse Flannery hand type. 5 or more spades, 4 hearts, 4 or more hearts, and some sort of minimum response. Not exactly what West wanted to hear, but I guess West can probably just let 2 hearts go, and that could end the auction.
I kind of feel like you should be returning to your 7-card diamond suit, even though this hand is probably fine to be playing 4-3 heart fit.
Yeah, the diamond suit does have a lot of holes, and that could be the reason why West just lets this one go. But it could easily be the case that if East has, say, 4 small hearts and a doubleton diamond, then obviously 3 diamonds might be a little bit more attractive than playing in 2 hearts. Trump lead, pretty natural against these 2 suited auctions. And especially because South has most of the missing high card points. Doesn't want to lead a diamond or a club away from his strength. A spade is East's long suit, so he just pulls trumps. So heart to the jack and queen. And now how is Declare going to handle the rest of the play? Because if he gives up a spade, which he does, another heart will come. So Declare can win the 10. So this is 2 tricks. The ace of hearts is another trick. The ace of diamonds and a diamond ruff is a couple more, but it looks like Declare might not end up making this. He can cross ruff 3 more tricks. Diamond ruff, spade ruff, diamond ruff. But then he's getting pretty close to being out of steam. Whoa. He doesn't ruff the queen of diamonds. Okay. So South gets in with the diamond king, pulls the last trump, crosses to partner in spades, and now a club comes through. Declare is going to end up down 3. A bit of a guess on the diamond, although it might have been the case that even if he was correct in taking the roughing finesse, that he would not have been successfully able to score a trick out of it. But minus 300 when your side voluntarily opens the bidding and responds is not really the spot you want to be in. Obviously, the East-West hands didn't really fit together, and they utilized a convention which might have gotten them a little bit too high. $12 count from East. North gets to pass in first seat, so East will open a diamond. And then we'll see what West wants to bid. I think 1 spade would be most players' choice. 6-3-2-2 isn't ideal. Vulnerability and the kind of weak spade suit goes against preempting with this hand. So South overcalls a spade. We'll see a negative double from West. North is going to stay out of the action. And East can bid a no trump. Or 2 hearts, I guess. Probably better to show your heart fit. My eyes were drawn to the ace queen third of spades, but yes,
there's also the singleton club, so you're going to get to declare from the east. South probably won't lead a spade away from the king into the opening bid, and will instead do something. He doesn't really want to lead a diamond if the opening diamond bidder so much either. So I guess South's going to have an opening lead problem. But it should go double. Does North bid a no trump here with 2 aces? Red overcall.
They might not even have a no trump available natural.
It could be a transfer, yeah. Well, he kind of has that too. Kind of.
Yes.
And if it's a transfer to clubs, you might do that and then bid 2 spades. North's not embarrassed by the 10-9 of spades and 2 aces. So the partner bid red.
Well, North-South have gotten up to 2 spades. They do have the 6-2 spade fit. And everything just kind of sits nicely for North-South. There are 2 entries to take 2 spade finesses. The ace-queen third of spades are on side. So if they do get to play here, they might end up making it. 3 outside tricks and 5 trumps. I think West with 12 high card points, hearing partner open the bidding, is going to have something to say about it, but West might not have a very easy way to push towards game. He tries 3 hearts. And it looks like that's going to end the auction. So how is this going to end up playing? If South gets off to a spade lead, then Declare is going to have a relatively easy go of it. I guess South could lead a diamond. The doubleton has some potential to get himself a ruff, but he does lead a spade. So only in 3, Declare can now just pull trumps, knock out the diamond ace, and should be able to make 10 tricks relatively easily.
Diamond lead would have allowed them to navigate a diamond ruff, but they also get a spade trick. I don't think they do.
Alright, heart to the king. We do see the spoiler on the left side of the screen that Declare has in fact made 10 tricks, but as mentioned, it's going to be pretty simple to just pull trumps and then set up the diamonds. With hearts 3-2, you can even ruff a spade in the dummy for the over trick eventually. But Declare is going to play out the rest of the hand, collect his 10 tricks, maybe be a little bit disappointed that they didn't get to the 4 level, given that he did make 10, but the defense had multiple ways, at least from a different opening lead, to get themselves an extra trick here or there. Ooh, that is a strong hand in the north over there. And they have a spade fit.
The north hand is basically a 2-club opening bid, other than the fact that it's awkward to bid. I know a lot of players who would. South is not a 2-spade opening bid for most partnerships outside of those that involve Karen McCallum. So it feels like 2 passes to 1 heart. West hand could bid 2 hearts red on white in 3rd seat, but I think 1 heart is normal. And then, North North should start with 2 hearts unless you have a weird meaning for it. And eventually, Slam's actually good after the opening bid. Needing 2 finesses through the opening, just a diamond finesse through the opening bidder.
Yeah, so I think a lot of it will depend on West's opening bid. As Michael mentions, you could open 2 hearts. I think there's even a case to be made for opening 3 hearts, despite the vulnerability in third seat here. 2 passes. But we'll see what Zimmerman selects. And a 3-heart opener would put a lot of pressure on North. Some of them might play a non-leaping Michaels. Looks like West opens 2 diamonds. Which is... Let me see if I can find a convention card for these guys. Unfortunately, the ACBL does not have a page with system summaries that we can take a look at, but I think this is just multi. So West does decide to make the preempt. And how does North handle this? This is a really tricky spot for North. I mean, 4 spades kind of describes his hand, so he might try that. He does decide to pass, and I feel like his hope is that East just bids 2 hearts or something, and then it comes pass back to him, and he can treat it as if it was a normal 2-heart opener. Maybe he would have leaping Michaels available. Maybe he would have some alternative to showing his hand. But so East bids 2 spades. Passer correct. I wonder if West bids 4 hearts here after hearing the 2 spade bid, knowing that East likes hearts more than spades. It might be somewhat tempting. I don't see any reason to do so. West doesn't have any strong belief that the opponents are just about to bid a slam. But obviously West is feeling a little bit nervous, given that he chose to go low, in a sense, by preempting his 11 count. And now his partner really likes hearts. I mean, the normal bid is certainly to bid 3 hearts. I guess if West has something a bit more sophisticated, he could try something like 2-no, or maybe even 3 diamonds or something like that, presumably showing hearts and a good hand. But he does just bid 3 hearts. So it's over to North. Time for North to step up. What has he got in store for us over this sequence? I think this is one of the sequences that
hearts now?
Well, yeah, I mean, this is one of the sequences that he probably needed to plan for and should have an idea about what he wanted to bid.
That's probably the single most likely sequence to have occurred here.
Yeah, 4 hearts would make some sense. He decides to start with a double. So East will bid 4 hearts. And South will pass that.
I mean, once North-South got to 4 spades, I think East can't afford to pass that. For all he knows, his side is making 5 or 6 hearts.
I mean, they're pretty close.
They could have a singleton diamond and 10-9 third of clubs, and I guess you're making 5 hearts opposite that.
Okay, East bids 4 clubs, lead directing. He thinks the opponents could be getting to 4 spades from the south side here. But south just doesn't have any values. He does have 5 spades. I mean, I wonder if Versace might take a shot at 4 spades. But he does decide to let it go. Alright, so 4 hearts from west. We're going to see presumably a 4 spade bid from north now. And yeah, east now has a bit of a puzzle. If 5 hearts could be making, he definitely needs to bid it. But at this vulnerability, it's very difficult to justify a 5-level bid. So he lets it go. As does south. So 4 spades, that ends the auction. North-south have missed out on the slam this time. Although they might not be so disappointed. Once North sees the dummy, he might expect the king of diamonds is likely to be offside on an auction like this. I mean, West hasn't passed this out yet, but I don't see any reason for West to push on. Again, he feels very uncomfortable just because he decided to preempt an 11 count in third seat, and his partner has showed a very good hand in support of hearts, but he's 6-3-2-2. Again, the vulnerability is kind of a negative. The king-jack of diamonds could be completely worthless. Partner showed clubs, not diamonds, so 10-third of clubs is not the most ideal holding. And maybe a more relevant point, which probably won't be obvious to East-West on an auction like this, but is when we're looking at North's hand, North-South could have missed a slam. If you give them another opportunity, North can make a forcing pass over 5 hearts, and then North-South may actually find their way into a making slam. So a lot of reasons for West to just let this 4 spade bid go.
Well, West really doesn't have anything remarkable for his hand. He doesn't have a club fit to go with his partner's 4-club call. And obviously, partner must have like a really good hand to have done this at adverse vulnerability as a passed hand. But the West hand seems very unremarkable for the auction to date.
Well, he's spending a lot of time thinking it over. These 5-level decisions do tend to swing quite a few imps, so if you're going to spend time trying to get the right, or make the right decision, these are probably the spots to do so. But it does feel as if, just based on what West knows about the hand so far, that 5 hearts is unlikely to be a winning decision. It may save 6 imps or so. In a position like this, if you bid 5 hearts, you get doubled, and he picks up the club suit, which seems somewhat likely, or possibly sets up the diamonds to pitch club losers, then he could end up getting out for down 1, and if the opponents don't find their way to slam over 5 hearts, then it could be a nice save. But that's a very narrow target, hoping for double down 1 vulnerable against not at the 5 level. He does let it go. I think a very prudent decision. And East on lead probably tries to cash a heart for lack of anything better to do. May as well lead the queen in case you need to be on lead for whatever reason. I think we might see a claim relatively quickly. Declarer just cashes 2 rounds of trumps and asks about the Diamond King. It's onside, so he makes 12. Really not much to the play of this one. So ace of spades, spade to the jack, diamond to the queen. Just test the diamond suit. And that'll be the end of it. So we'll see if the other room ends up finding a way to reach the slam here. I think a 1 hurt opening bid by West might make things easier for North-South. The multi-auction just kind of timed out really well for East-West, where North was in a position where he hadn't been able to show a spade suit until it got to the 4 level. But a real potential for Zimmerman to pick up some imps on that one. South has a 12 count here. At these colors, they're not playing a 10 to 12 no trump. So South will open a club. And are they playing transfers over club? I can never remember. I think we saw it earlier in the set.
Someone does. I think they do.
In which case, North will be bidding a spade to, I guess, either deny a 4-card major or show diamonds, depending on what your agreements are in response to partner's 1 club opener. East is going to stay out of the auction at these colors. You know, you might want to overcall 2 hearts to get that ace-jack-9 fifth in and get in your lead direct, but it is not without risk. South, a lot of the time, will have king-queen-10 fourth of hearts behind you, and just goes pass, pass, double, all pass. You end up going for 8 or 1100 at the 2 level, when the opponents weren't even going to be bidding a game. So here we go, club by South. Is Zimmerman thinking of overcalling a heart? He doesn't. Passes. So I think 1 spade by North. East passes. South gets to bid a no trump. This might end the auction. If North has a way to get out to one of the minors, he might choose to do so with the small singleton heart. But there might just not be enough room for that to be available in his system. So he does let it go. West on lead. Gets to lead one of his hard honors. It seems like we probably should just lead the non-power heart, whatever that is. But he selects the queen. So for Rusino players, this would be, I think, the normal lead from the West hand, not asking for an unblock of the jack. And so Queen of Hearts is going to hold trick 1. East will encourage. I mean, maybe East actually overtakes with the ace to play 1 back. Okay, he does play the 9. Another heart comes. This is really interesting. East wins the jack to unblock the heart suit. If East had won the ace there, the heart suit was going to get blocked. But a heart comes back to the 10. King of Hearts overtaking. And I guess before cashing the last heart, East will probably lay down the club ace to get a signal from his partner in that suit. It looks like from East's perspective, if Declare has the diamond ace, we need to cash out. If Declare doesn't have the diamond ace, then partner has it, and partner can hopefully signal to let me know that that's our 7th defensive trick. So cashing the club ace feels like it gets both of those things in play. I'm not sure the pause on this trick, but Zimmerman has taken his time. It does make Declare's job a lot easier getting out for down 1 if he slays down the club ace, but at least there are no defensive accidents. Really unusually long pause on this trick, but I think we will see West win the 10 of hearts and continue a heart. I suppose West could win the 10 of hearts and switch to spades. Wouldn't be that crazy to do so. He switches to clubs. Well, this is going to have the same effect. So now East has turned up with the club ace. West can clearly signal for diamonds. Please, partner, lead a diamond. Or not. West pitching a club. A little bit unusual. I wonder if East is just going to kind of shrug and play a diamond because Declare's discards make it look as if West has the diamond ace. But yeah, East would be a lot happier if his partner had just signaled where his ace was on this trick, or where his trick was. Like if West had the king of clubs, West should signal for clubs. If West has the ace diamonds, West should signal for diamonds. But it looks like West has given East a bit of a problem with his club discard on this trick. Maybe East can play a spade. No, he can't, because on this layout, Declare just runs, wins the spade king and takes a club finesse, and his whole hand is good. Wow. This is not a pleasant spot for East to have ended up in.
East has followed the adage of leave your the partnership has left themselves guessing, which is not ideal.
No. See, I guess my simpleton mind believed that once East had cashed 6 tricks, West would know to signal for the card he had. But for whatever reason, East works it out, plays a diamond to his partner's ace, and that's going to be the end of it. Down 1. So ultimately, good defense.
Well, Jan has informed me that there's a chance that next quarter they are going to have it fixed, at least the scores being wrong and the disconnecting issues. So hopefully that's true.
That would be wonderful. So stay tuned, everyone. People are working behind the scenes to get this fixed, and they might have done so. All right, halfway through the set. So far, it's all Fleischer. They're up 12-0. But a couple of boards here, especially board 6, could go the way of Zimmerman if they're able to find that slam in the other room. All right, pass by West. North gets to open a 10-12 no trump. East probably can overcall to show a single-suited major if he wants to. With partner being a passed hand, he knows that it's not really his side's deal. Oh, hello. 2 spades. Is this spades in a minor? I assume it is spades in a minor. Yeah, we do have confirmation.
There's no way he's opening 2 spades on 9/5 unless it's conventional. At least I think so.
Well, 2 spades passes around to south, and this might end the auction. I guess he could balance 2 no. But he just lets it go. North underleads the ace of hearts. This is not the worst lead, but Declare's job definitely is made a little bit easier with this passive lead, although it might not necessarily be good enough. If Declare tries to unblock the diamond ace and play another heart, North can win. Play spades, maybe not expecting anything to work well for him there, but South will pull all of Dummy's trumps and then put a club through. So that line of play will be unsuccessful, although probably the one that Declare is going to go with, because it's not going to be obvious for North to switch to spades from several trump holdings, like Queen Doubleton or Ace Queen Doubleton, King Doubleton, King Queen Third. This also seems reasonable. Just play back a heart at trick 2. Cementa's thinking about letting his partner rough this trick, which is going to be very amusing if that's what ends up happening. In that case, Declare actually would be in trump control and would then be able to pull trumps and eventually get over to the east hand with a diamond ruff to cash the winning hearts, pitch some losers. So what is North's best defense at this point? If he hops up with the heart ace to play trumps, South can win, or will cash all the spades, and then put a club through, and that'll be the next 6 tricks for North-South. If he ducks this and Versace ruffs, I assume South should then just pull 2 more rounds of trumps, so he does duck it. South will ruff and will pull a couple of trumps. And South can play a club through. We'll get a couple of clubs. That's only 5 tricks so far. Now, Declare hasn't set up the hearts, but... And I guess he can't. So maybe this still turns out okay for the defense. They can just cash 2 clubs and play a diamond, or even try and cash 3 rounds of clubs. Declare just doesn't have enough steam to do everything. He can use the ace of diamonds and a diamond ruff to rough out the heart ace, but then he'll have no entry back to the east hand to cash the long hearts. So it looks like the defense still comes out okay. But Versace is not going to be happy with the way this trick went. I have no idea what the hesitation is from West. I mean, whether he plays the Queen of Hearts or low heart, it's not going to affect what the defense does. Alright. Versace ruffs and pulls a couple of trumps before anything else silly happens. I mean, I guess he could switch to clubs immediately instead of playing trumps. He does. Yeah, this seems okay, actually. If his partner had ace-queen doubleton of clubs, then this might be necessary. Put a club through, then get in with a spade, and then give his partner a club ruff. So this seems a little bit better than just pulling trumps. 2 rounds of spades to extract all of West's, or 2 rounds of clubs to extract all of West's clubs, and now 2 rounds of trumps.
Well, now there's no more chance of the 10 of spades scoring on a trump promotion.
No.
And I guess that wasn't happening with the jack and dummy.
Right. Oh, good point by a spectator that once West turns up with 3 hearts, unless he has done something unusual, which I don't know this West tendencies, maybe he would open this 2-spade bid with 4-4. But it's pretty difficult for West to have 3 clubs. Wait, why can't West have spades and clubs instead of spades and diamonds? Oh, I see. Because he can't have spades in a 3-card minor. I understand. Well, either way, there we have it. 2 rounds of trumps. And Declare just can't do everything. Does get to ruff a diamond, but eventually is stuck with the diamond loser in his own hand. So 1 down in 2 spades. Alright, on the board 9. Another 10 to 12 no trump for North. These sure do come up a lot, don't they?
That is why you play them. If you think they're good, they happen all the time.
So North gets to open the 10 to 12. East has a 12 count, but probably not much that he can do in the auction, so he'll have to pass. I wonder what South does with this hand. I'm not that familiar about 10 to 12 no trumped theory myself.
Okay, so I've played them a lot.
Yeah.
So the pressure bid actually is just, if you think the opponents have a game, you just pass one no trump a little bit more often, because often the points are just distributed like 12-13 and they can't really get in the auction effectively, and you'll just play one no trump going down 4 or 5 tricks, and that's a pretty good score for you. A lot of players who play 10-12 no trumps don't use transfers to make it a little bit more pressure directly on left-hand opponent when you're trying to sign off, whether or not they have takeout doubles. Now, you're often going to also be passing one no trump on hands that are borderline invites. Like 12 counts just routinely pass a 10 to 12 no trump also if you're balanced. So it's not so safe for them to come in when it goes one no pass pass. And that's what Versace did not mention as hearts. And Zimmerman is fairly aggressive with sort of a bad spot 14 count to come in with the double there. So he doesn't want to be stolen from, but this could easily have just been like red on white. He goes one no trump double, pass or redouble, and you're like, oh my god, I'm going for $1 million. Now South will just bid 2 hearts, and then I don't know whether they're playing penalty doubles or takeout, probably takeout doubles, so it'll probably go 2 hearts, pass, double, pass. But it could, West could just bid 3 no trump when his partner doubles 2 hearts also, since it's a red game, and you don't have lower heart honors to promote.
Yeah, so thanks for chiming in there and explaining the nuances of this auction. I was also under the impression that South probably should just pass with this hand, but I wasn't familiar with all of the ins and outs. So 2 hearts does pass around to East, and as mentioned, East might balance with the takeout double. East could... It's a tough spot for East because, I mean, he knows that he has a game. So yeah, he balances with 3 hearts. I think I like this a little bit better than the takeout double. Sometimes your partner is massacring 2 hearts, but in that case you might only be getting 800 against it. And with a 12 count with 2 excellent suits in the minors, he knows that 3 no trump would have play. And the reason I think I like this a little bit better is if we make a takeout double and partner doesn't have a penalty pass, then we might end up in a 4-3 spade fit, which wouldn't be the end of the world, but I think from East's perspective, he knows that if we don't have a spade fit, let's just play 3 no, because that's very likely to be making. And that's where he ends up. And is it actually making, I guess, is a question. North's most passive lead would be a diamond. But North decides to lead a heart. The Jack of Hearts. Okay, King of Hearts. One of the big hearts is going to be the standard lead here, and it looks like North is catering to East having a singleton queen by leading the king. If North had led the 7 of hearts, that might block the heart suit. So East-West have 2 hearts. They get 3 diamonds and 2 spades as 7 tricks. They're not quite in time to set up the clubs. Well, actually, maybe I take that back. After the King of Hearts lead, maybe West can duck 2 rounds of hearts. And if Declare does pick up the clubs, he's going to have more than enough tricks. And I don't think the defense can do anything to stop this. If Declare wins the first trick, he might be in a bit of trouble, because North will be able to win the first round of clubs and then continue the attack on hearts, with South still having the King of Clubs as an entry. It looks like Declare might still come out okay. Or at least would still have chances, given that we can kind of strip North's hand a little bit, and maybe throw North in with a diamond at some point to get a spade lead away from the queen. But that might only be for 8 tricks. I think Declare probably does need to find a couple of heart ducks. A tricky hand to play. But I think West has all the information available to him to make the right decision here. He knows about the 10 to 12 no trump, so he kind of understands the point count. The one thing he might not be so convinced of is that hearts are 5-3, but if he's familiar with weak no trumps, then he should realize that this is something South could be doing with a very bad hand to try and steal the contract in a no trump undoubled. But we'll see. Does he win trick 1, or does he duck? Kind of an unusual spot, honestly. I don't know if he's going to think so deeply into the hand. But yeah, ducking 2 rounds of hearts would be a good start. It's true that Declare is not out of the woods yet, even if he does duck 2 hearts, but he's in excellent shape, I think. It feels somewhat natural to play club to the queen, for starters, because North might just have the ace and king of clubs. And then if a club to the queen loses to South's king, Declare is going to have nothing to do other than to hook South for the 10 of clubs on the way back. But there are certainly ways Declare could end up going down even if he overcomes the first hurdle. And he does start well by ducking the first heart.
So I think at this point the defense is just cooked, right? I mean, I guess Declare can blow into the 10 of clubs pretty easily, so...
Well, I was going to say there is an interesting possibility, which I don't think is realistic for Samantha to find, but if he led the 7 of hearts to his partner's hand, Declare would actually have to win. Otherwise, then, by ducking 2 hearts and leaving South on lead, the defense could switch to spades. So... Ooh. Uh-oh. Well... We got about a third of the way there to the right plan from Declare, but Zimmerman ducks the first heart. He does not duck the second heart, meaning that even if he had guessed the clubs correctly, North would be able to hop up on the first round and continue hearts while South still had an entry. As it was, he decides to lead the jack of clubs out of hand after not ducking the second heart. So this means he's going to end up going down. And I suppose the question is then how many? Club to the queen, South wins the king, can cash the next 3 tricks, 2 hearts and a club. So this will be down 2. Nice result for Fleischer, of course, on this board, when Declare could have made 3 no trump, and they end up beating it a couple of tricks vulnerable. Always a good feeling. Board 7, we see our largest swing of the match so far. This one in the favor of Zimmerman. 1 no trump went down 1 at the table that we were watching, where we just cashed out the first 7 tricks on defense. In the other room, East-West got a little bit too high. Club opening bid, North bid a diamond in response, not playing transfers over a club. and East was able to get in and show hearts. West, despite having a 9 count with king, queen, fourth of hearts, his hand has a lot of losers, and those all came through when 3 hearts was the final contract, undoubled 2 down. So 7 imps to Zimmerman there. They're on the board. East has a nice hand. 16. Excellent 5-card suit. Opens a no trump. I suppose West is just going to pass. No honors in his long suit other than the 10. 4 triple 3. No aces. Like 7 opposite. Even the world's greatest 17 count might still be a bit of a struggle to make 3 no trump. If they do get there, how is it going to end up? South will probably lead a minor suit of some kind. Maybe. Alright, looks like West does decide to let this go. And so now over to North. Does North balance? 5 small spades, but a 13 count. He says yes. 2 clubs. East can come in 2 diamonds now to show the diamond suit. This should pass back around to North. He could take another bite at it. Make a takeout double of 2 diamonds. Bring that ace, king, third of clubs into the picture. Actually seems pretty reasonable to do so. You figure your side has a fit somewhere. If partner wants to pass out 2 diamonds doubled, you're not that upset. You have ace, king, ace, and you have a trump to lead through. I suppose the thing I would be nervous about as North making this balancing double is if partner's 3-3 in the majors, we're going to get to hearts instead of spades. But there's the double. South bids 2 spades. And West, once again, is feeling very uncomfortable. He's been not necessarily overly conservative throughout this auction, but he has gone a bit low with all of his decisions so far. He could bid 3 diamonds to fight for the part score, but he decides to let it go. So West on lead to 2 spades.
Your partner did bid diamonds. You've got a spade holding. It's not a very attractive one to lead from, so.
Right, so you lead a trump against the 2 suited auction. I think I like the lead. You know, this could work out poorly.
Hearts would be establishable.
But your partner did open a strong no trump. If he has either the ace or queen of spades, this is probably at least an okay lead. And even if he doesn't, it might still not blow a trick. So spade to the ace. King of diamonds from East, just to clear that singleton off the dummy. And now he'll return a trump. So 2 more rounds of spades. West can switch to the queen of clubs. And if Declare picks off the hearts, he's only going to lose 2 hearts and a club from here. So that would be 2 down. Queen of clubs switch seems somewhat called for. Never costs a trick. It fills your partner in on what the whole hand is. Alright, ace of clubs. So what can Declare do from here, I wonder? He plays king of clubs. And if he exits a club, West will get in. The queen of diamonds kind of an important card, because if West just, I guess I could say lazily plays a diamond here, Declare will pitch a heart from dummy, and East is unplayed. If West switches to the 10 of hearts, then of course Declare, given the count on the hand so far, West is turned up with king jack of spades, queen jack of clubs. He knows where the king of hearts is. He will not misread the send position. We do see the spoiler on the left side of the screen, 2 spades down 2. So a heart comes through. And another heart. And it looks like we're about to see a claim. Ace of hearts and a low heart. Queen of hearts is set up, dummy's high. So 2 down. Ooh. Well, we have an exciting result on board 8. So in our room, East-West got to 2 spades. Zimmerman opened 2 spades, and that passed out. In the other room, 2 passes went around to East, so North on the 11 count didn't open. East opened 2 hearts, and South was therefore able to make a takeout double. And after that takeout double, there was no stopping North. They ended up getting all the way up to 4 no trump, but they made it. 10 tricks in that contract. So South passes. Zimmerman has a big hand, 19, no jacks, good 5-card suit. Is this worth an upgrade into the 2 no-trump opening range? First question that he's going to have to ask. He opens a club. East on the...
It's essentially 2 suited, right? So I feel pretty comfortable opening a club and reversing it to hearts, even though half of my high card points are in my doubletons.
Yeah, now East bids a diamond, showing 4 more hearts. West can bid 4 hearts.
You can't bid 2 hearts. You have normally like 3 diamonds shows a hand like this for 2 Welsh people. Sometimes 2 spades. You should have something reserved that's not a jump to 4 hearts, so that we can get some. So we can figure out some of the mesh below 4 hearts to know whether or not we need to go past it when responder has modest extra strength. Here, responder has rather significant extra strength. We'll be going past 4 hearts once West shows any sort of very strong hand, but you don't know that going into the thing, right? So,
right, and in fact, I think the best spot is 7 no trump, not hearts. 7 clubs would be next best, and 7 hearts, of course, would be the worst of the Grand Slams, effectively requiring 3-2 hearts or potentially a singleton jack or 10 in South's hand. So West bids 3 diamonds. Very fortunate that they're able to save a full level of bidding on hands like these. And so now, what does East get to do? So what exactly... Okay. I see an alert on 1 diamond that it shows 16 or more balanced. It is very hard for me to believe that the 1 diamond response shows 16 or more to partner's opening bid. But it's their system, not mine. So 3 hearts by East, West Cupid's clubs. East can cue diamonds back.
I think 3 diamonds also should. Yeah, 3 diamonds. Well, I suggested that 3 diamonds would be one of the ways that partnerships might show a fit here with extra values.
It does. So over 4 clubs, East is going to be asking himself whether or not he should be bidding keycard or his partner should be bidding keycard. And I think from East's perspective, he wants his partner to bid keycard, because he has 3 keycards and really not much else. Yeah, the Queen Jack of Spades might be helpful, the Queen of Clubs might be helpful, but he can't cubid those, and if he asks about keycards, he's going to be concerned about black suit kings. His partner is the one sitting over there with all the black suit kings, but East decides to just take over. 4 no trump, he's heard enough. So West will show 2 with, and East will bid 5 no trump. You know, this is also an effective way to show all of the key cards to your partner. If you bid 4 no, and your partner makes a response, and then you bid 5 no, you're promising all of the key cards and the trump queen. But your partner, I think, needs to be a little bit more on the ball in auctions like this to really take advantage of it. Because if your partner just lazily responds by showing you a king or showing you a couple of kings or something, then you could be in a bit of a pickle. But alright, there's 5 spades, 5 no trump. Asking about kings. And we'll see if West just takes the bull by the horns and bids 7. I think they're going to have a really hard time reaching the best contract here. I think clubs are definitely out of the picture. Well, West is kind of doing the right thing at this moment because his partner has confirmed all the key cards. So he's sitting on 3 unshown kings. He does decide to just start showing kings. 6 clubs.
And at some point, someone has to bid 7 no trump, right?
This is a spot that always feels really awkward from East's perspective because your partner has hesitated for a long time. Everyone knows it, even though they're playing behind screens. East doesn't really have anything extra. I mean, yes, the Queen of Clubs is nice now that the King of Clubs is in place, but without the Spade King, or maybe even without the Diamond King, or without West having a 5-card club suit, there's not necessarily a 13th trick available. So if East thinks for a while here and bids 6 hearts, and West then thinks for a while and bids 7 hearts, there's a case for UI being conveyed. And I think the director might take a look at the board afterwards. I can't imagine that West will not be bidding a grand, but it does feel maybe a little bit lazy for West to not take over himself. East tries 6 diamonds. And there is a 7 heart bid. And I think that's going to do it. I don't believe that East is going to correct to 7 no. It's even possible that 7 hearts is better than 7 no trump, I guess, in some scenarios. If his partner happens to have Queen Jack 4th of hearts, it might be the case. East is still thinking. I mean, maybe he is trying to decide about 7 no trump. What would he need for 7 no trump? Like, let's say he knows about ace king 5th of clubs, but he obviously doesn't know about the spade king.
Yeah, 3 diamonds should show clubs. So, I mean, he should be able to count. A partner bid the grand. I mean, partner could easily have 1 fewer king than he does. So 5 clubs and 4 hearts is 9, and a diamond and a spade is 11. The king of spades is 12. The king of king of spades is 13, but the king of diamonds is not. King of diamonds is only 12. And I think you just pass it here.
Yeah, if partner has the same hand with ace small of spades, then on 3-2 hearts and the clubs coming home, you can just pitch all of the spades. You don't need a spade finesse, whereas in no trump, you would need the spade finesse. I mean, maybe one of the things that East is thinking is just, how could partner have this hand without the spade king? And he might be right about that. The 16 count might just not be there. But he does pass, so South on the lead. Before he passes, he might ask questions, or maybe he just passes. He's going to ask some questions before getting off to his opening lead. It sounds to me like maybe a spade is right from the South hand. It's hard to say. In the meantime, we have a new biggest swing of the match, so South does lead the 10 of spades. 3 no trump, the hand where Zimmerman made it a little bit of the way down the track, but not fully across the finish line, and goes down 2 and 3 no trump. The other table does get to the 4-3 spade fit on actually a very similar weak no trump auction. South bidding 2 hearts immediately there rather than passing. And with East balancing a takeout double, they find the 4-3 spade fit, but it was actually just good enough. The defense didn't find their club rough, and it looks like Declare was able to carefully navigate to make 10 tricks in spades. That's honestly a very impressive feat, but really nice result there for Team Fleischer, who once again takes back the lead. But here they get to the Grand Slam. I do suspect the other table will also reach a Grand Slam. The question is just going to be which one. Probably not a large swing on that board. We got 4 to play. So Zimmerman will pass in first seed. Cementa probably will pass in second. There are 2 diamonds being multi, I think. Means that he would have to preempt all the way up to the 3 level if he wanted to open this hand. And that doesn't look all that appealing, these colors, with only 6-3-2-2 shape. So East opens a heart in third. Favorable. He does want a heart lead. He has 5 of them. He doesn't expect his partner's going to go overboard as a passed hand, especially with a conservative partner like Zimmerman. South passes. West responds a spade. Now North probably comes in with 2 diamonds, having not preempted earlier. And this will probably fetch 3-0 from South. He only has 13, but he has excellent hearts. Spades are well stopped. Oh, he just lets it go. Wow. Well, I don't think West can balance. West doesn't have a heart fit. Jack third of diamonds is not a great holding. So 2 diamonds ends the auction. It's not as if 3 no trump would have been a great place to play, but South being ultra conservative with the best hand at the table. So spade opening lead. And how is Declare going to end up doing on this one? West will win the ace of spades, maybe, and put a heart through, or put a heart on the table. I mean, West could certainly duck this trick to prevent Dummy from scoring a bunch of spades, but it feels a little bit more important to actually take this and then set up some tricks your way, either via heart ruff or to knock out the club ace. But he does stick in the 10. So Declare wins the king, fires back a spade to set up a discard for his club. West gets in with the ace, and now I think it's time to put a heart on the table. He can tell that a club switch is not going to be effective. Declare has a discard in the jack of spades, and the fact that East didn't lead a club means that East has a doubleton. This is an interesting play. West doesn't have an entry to play this fourth spade, so it's a little bit surprising to me that he decided to play another spade. So how's Declare going to handle this trick? 10 of diamonds,
so.
Queen of diamonds.
So I have a rule about these situations that apparently Declare is not aware of or doesn't believe in, which is that when you have a choice of finesses, you always take the highest logical finesse. And because without having to work out every single problem, there seems to usually be one additional case that the highest logical finesse will win. Usually involves the lower honor being short, and the higher honor being short doesn't help you. But it just seems to be that rule is a good rule for using. It seems to come up and actually be effective.
Yeah, this is a good point in general. Might not necessarily apply to this hand, but a lot of the times, I mean, sometimes the reason why you play diamond to the queen here is that maybe you suffer ruffs if you don't pull 2 rounds of trumps immediately. So if you play diamond to the 10, you might lose out in scenarios where you actually guess the diamond suit, but then the opponents start cross-ruffing against you. But in this case, with East having opened the bidding, maybe a little bit more likely that the king of diamonds is in his hand, and Declare guesses everything and gets some relatively friendly defense to end up plus 150. So Fleischer still a small lead in the match currently. Board 10 ends up being a push at 2 spades down 2 in both rooms. Exact same auction at both tables, in fact. On board 13, 3 boards to go. East opens a club. South, opposite a past partner, does not come in with a spade overcall this time. West bids a diamond, 4 more hearts. And let's see, are East-West in the slam zone once again? They have a bit of a problem in the club suit, but with the king of clubs on side and the suit splitting well, it looks like 6 clubs or 6 no trump. Both will fetch, if they get there. So 19, opposite partner's opening bid. East has showed a weak no trump with the 1 heart bid. And 3 hearts, apparently. So what do these transfer players do to game force here? West bids 2 diamonds. Some form of XYZ, I suppose. And if East bids 3 clubs, I think that's going to get... You know, this is the second time that we've seen the 1 diamond bid get alerted as 16 plus balanced. I'm starting to now believe that this is the agreement.
So if you play relay over your club, then the best place to put it is 1 diamond. So it's not completely illogical, but it doesn't look like they're relaying, so there's that.
No, but look, if they just keep getting balanced 19 counts or 16 counts in response to their partner's opening bid, this is an amazing convention to be playing. You just get to show the big hand immediately at the 1 level. But yeah, that's probably not actually what's happening. East bid 2 no over 2 diamonds. West made a quantitative invite, and East decided to try 5 no trump accepting. So they are getting to a slam, and the question is just which one. I don't think East has showed clubs yet, although I could be incorrect about the meaning of 2 no. So it looks like they're on their way to 6 no, and Zimmerman bids it. And there really just won't be much to the play. Declarer can go ace of clubs and a club. Or maybe he just leads a low club towards the queen immediately. Like, certainly from a double dummy perspective, or a suit combination perspective, if you think that you can play double dummy against every layout, low towards the queen of clubs is best, rather than cashing the ace first. Cashing the ace first does clarify some suit holdings, but you give up on picking up, for example, singleton jack or 10 in South's hand.
Oh, that's my son calling for a ride. I will probably be back in 5 minutes.
2 now gets announced as 12 to 14. Yeah, Versace on opening lead, so he has to come up with something to do. On this lie of the club suit, I don't think there's any way Declare goes down. If he decides to lead low towards the queen on the first round, either South wins the king and then it's all over, or South sticks in the jack and then it's also all over. Declare wins the queen in the West hand and then ducks around to South's king. Versace is doing the right thing to try and think about which suit to lead. It's either a spade or a diamond. He decides to try spade. His hope, I think, is that he gets in with the king of clubs and his opening lead sets up a trick in his partner's hand that he can then cash. So he goes after spades. And I guess we'll see how Declara decides to handle the play, but either ace of clubs and a club or low towards the queen is going to work out just fine. So this looks like a really nice position for Team Zimmerman, because 6 no trump, not that great of a spot, it requires a little bit more than just a club finesse, and those aren't really the slams that you want to be in. So getting there and having it be successful is going to be good news for them. Well, after this board, we got 2 more to play in the set. Other table's a little bit behind us, so there will probably be a 20 or 25 minute break between this and the next segment, but then the players will shuffle back in, pick out their lineups, and sit down to play the next segment. Alright, club to the king. South is in. He doesn't really have anything to do other than, I guess, wait for Declare to face his hand and claim, asking about the club split. Yeah, so spade comes back. Declare wins, cashes the queen of clubs, gets the good news, and then he has the rest. Okay, on to board 14 in just a second. Looks like at the other table, Team Fleischer is in the midst of bidding board 11. Still have the suspicion that they're going to end up finding the Grand Slam, but my question is just going to be which one. Ooh. Okay, so does this East hand fall into the 2-heart opener? I guess we're about to find out. I believe the 2-heart opener would be 5 hearts and 4 of a minor, or more. I don't know if that's what you want to do with the East hand. The clubs are so much better. The hearts are very weak. Like, 2 hearts could pass out, and you might miss a 6-3 club fit. And instead you're playing in a 5-1 heart fit with partner having a small singleton opposite your 9/5. But here it is. 2 hearts, hearts and a minor. So is West going to raise, or is West just going to let this go? West has a decent amount of defense with 11 or 10 highs. But, you know, the counterpoint to that is that West being so limited... Okay, West bids 3 clubs. I have no idea what 3 clubs is. Ah, passer correct. Interesting. So West decided to effectively preempt, but preempt in a way where he showed clubs. Wow, takeout double from North, 4 clubs by East with the 6th club. Double by South, responsive. Looks like North-South are on their way to at least a spade game, although taking a look at the hands together, obviously they would want to be in a slam if they could find their way there. West decides to make things a little bit more challenging, bids 5 clubs, increasing the preempt. Yeah, sticky spot. Sticky spot for North-South. I assume as North you probably bid over 5 clubs. If he doubles, he should be collecting 500, assuming South lets this go. They can take 3 hearts, a spade, and a diamond, which would be better than their side playing a game. but it's very difficult to get to slam once the opponents make all of these bids. You just haven't really found your fits yet. I mean, you kind of have. It looks like North-South are somewhat aware that they have a double fit, at least South is. But North has a little bit extra in the way of trick-taking power, as well as the singleton club, which is undisclosed to South. And South has some length in partner suits, but no aces. I could see South bidding 5 diamonds here, for sure. I could see South passing. But I think it's just going to be too tough for them to reach the slam. I mean, maybe if South pulls this to 5 diamonds, North can actually find a raise. That might be the way for them to get there. Yeah, fortunately this is imps. So if North-South do bid over 5 clubs, they'll definitely find the diamond fit with longer diamonds. At match points, you might be drawn to playing the 4-4 spade fit, but then things are a little bit difficult if the defense gets clubs going. Okay, 5 diamonds has hit the table, so now it's over to North, and North needs to spend a little bit of time building a picture of what his partner's hand looks like. I think he might expect that the opponents have a 9-card heart fit, so he'll probably think for the wrong reason that he has no heart losers, which I think is really beneficial to him. He probably suspects that his partner has no wasted values in clubs, given that he pulled the double of 5 clubs. And therefore, it's really hard to play South with high cards that aren't the King of Spades, Queen of Diamonds, and he must have something for his double of 4 clubs earlier. So I think North has a realistic chance of actually bumping 5 diamonds to 6. It's maybe we can construct a hand that South is lacking some of these honors. You know, maybe something like Jack 10, 4th of spades, a stiff heart. Yeah, Queen Jack of diamonds, but then we're on a spade finesse through the non-preemptor. I really like the 6 diamond bid from North. So well done by North-South to find the slam here. I think this is a huge result for Fleischer in the midst of very difficult preemption from East-West. Hard opening lead. I don't think there's any reason to stick in the Jack of Hearts. I mean, maybe sticking in the Jack of Hearts is best. Like, there might be a potential for a show-up squeeze later, but that's only if we can successfully duck a club. So Declarer does put in the Jack of Hearts. Now he can just claim. In fact, he can pull trumps. Doesn't even need to guess the spades, even though he would have been able to do so. Especially on this auction. So nice result. Fighting back. I mean, that board 13 I think is somewhat likely to be a swing in favor of Zimmerman, although I could definitely see it being a push. Board 12 feels like a fairly flat hand to some extent, although maybe the defense can be a little bit more careful in the other room to prevent some of those over tricks. But getting to 6 diamonds on board 14, huge result for Team Fleischer. Very well done to the Italians here. Now on board 15, Versace gets rewarded with what looks like a no-trump opener, maybe.
He has a sufficient number of kings.
Yeah, all of the kings. You don't get any bonus points for those, but it looks pretty. He does open a no trump, 14 count. You know, the hand is just kind of in between a 1 diamond, 2 diamond, and 1 diamond, 3 diamond bid. So generally that means you should be opening a no trump. North has to decide what to do over the strong no trump. I think the general feel with these sorts of hands is that, I think Michael had mentioned this the other day, that if you have the choices between going a little bit low or going a little bit high, players tend to like taking the high road. So I would be surprised if North doesn't just game force his hand and show both of his suits and then let his partner decide between 4 spades, 5 clubs, and 3 no trump, possibly. So transfer to spades. East makes the lead directing double, queen 10, 9, 6 of hearts. South's 2 spade bid shows a fit. And it feels like Zimmerman has an unbelievably large fit with his partner on every single board. He decides to bid only 3 hearts. So I assume Samantha just bids 4 spades, and that ends the auction.
I think North's going to follow through with the plan. Yeah, okay. 4 spades. I guess 4 clubs would be a lot.
I mean, Zimmerman could try and take some cheap insurance. It might be a phantom. But if he does save in 5 hearts, looks like he decides to let it go, though. So how is this going to end up? We do see the ace of hearts lead, which I think is kind of standout, even though it looks like it sets up the king and declares hand. And then what? If West doesn't switch to diamonds to cash his partner's diamond ace, then declare can pitch on the king of hearts and eventually just lose a spade and a club. And if West does cash his partner's diamond ace, then declare actually doesn't need to set up the clubs because the diamonds are all set up. Yeah, 2 rounds of hearts trying to tap the dummy makes a lot of sense from West's perspective, because West is the one that's sitting on 4 trumps, so he knows if he can force North to ruff once or twice, he's going to have trump control. Well, now what's Declare's plan, I guess? Because it might look natural to just try and pull trumps here and figure if spades are 3-2, I'm in great shape. I pull trumps and then I go ace, king of clubs and a club, or king of clubs, club finesse, and I end up just losing 2 more tricks. But Declare's going to pause to think, what happens if spades split badly? Because if he tries to pull trumps and the opponent's duck 2 rounds on this layout and he plays a 3rd round, West will be able to get in and then play a heart, tapping the dummy. Declare can pull the last trump, but then if he has a club loser, he's going to be going down quite a few tricks.
I think you pitch a diamond here and play on clubs, going after the technique of play on your side suit and hope it's right.
Yeah, the difficulty is I guess that the defense might be able to play a 3rd round of hearts, giving a rough slough. And that frequently is going to be the right defense against these positions when one of the defenders does have long trumps. So Zimmerman has hit on a plan, and he decides to continue executing it with these 2 rounds of hearts. I think that when the defenders get in, they're just going to continue the assault on hearts. So I guess Declare could actually try things in the other order. As Michael has mentioned, I got a comment as well that Declare could play on clubs first rather than trying to pull trumps. So either 1 or 2 rounds of spades and then switch focus to the club suit. If you can pull 2 rounds of trumps and they're 3-2, great. Now you don't have any problems. And if you pull 2 rounds of trumps and they're 4-1, you can then just plan on giving up 2 trump tricks and switch your focus to clubs, roughing the club suit good. All right, 2 rounds of clubs. Declare now able to rough. So roughs the queen of clubs with the 5 of spades, or king of spades, I guess, in this case. And there's not much that the defense can do. If West overroughs, great. Then Declare can cash the queen of spades and just start running clubs, and he'll lose 1 more trump. And if West doesn't overruff, then Declare can lead a spade up to the queen himself. So this is a nice line. Plus 620. Maybe the defense could have done a little bit better by cashing the ace of diamonds instead. But that concludes the match at this table, or at least the first quarter of the match. So we'll be taking a short break. Make sure you head over to the other room to check out the action there, and we'll be back in just a few minutes for the second quarter of play.
Thank you. See you all soon.
All right. Let's head to the other room. What's going on over here? We have... What happened on board 13? Wait, where'd they get? Come on. Score pop up. I want to know. We don't have the result from this table. Okay, 6 no trump. Wow. So how did they get here to 6 no? They opened a club. South's hand brink overcalled a spade opposite a passed hand partner. Negative double, a no trump. 2 spades forcing, 2 no trump. 4 no, 6 no. Wow. What a bid. Okay, well, they got there. Board 14. A diamond, a spade, 3 now. Well, this is not the start. What is 3 now? Is this an unspecified splinter? Yeah, I agree, Shift. Roughing with the king of spades probably wasn't necessary on the last board. Huge results for Fleischer down the stretch. So I think they're probably going to have a nice lead going into the next set. Al Hollander once again just yelling at everyone in sight in the text chat. Why is that man so angry? Does anyone know? Maybe it's not something we can discuss on air with, like HIPAA laws and whatever. I have no idea what 3-0 says. Maybe Mackenzie's wife rejected him. Ex-wife, but yes. You're not in Vugraph. What's he yelling about now? Everything. You're saved from the nightmare that is Al Hollander yelling in Vugraph chat. Let's randomly say current wife. Keeping up with that May systems will have negative effects on mental health. I think you're right about that. Maybe this is why I'm so blissfully ignorant. I don't know any systems, not even the ones that I play. So, South bid 6 diamonds? What is this? What? What do you mean 6 diamonds? What a gamer. I mean, what was 3-0? What? It doesn't even help if they forget to lead a club. Oh, well, goodbye. I've been kicked out. Does that mean the table died? Or does it just mean I've been kicked out? I think it just means I've been kicked out. Awesome. Amazing. We're back. Well played. Anyone else unable to hear? Oh no, not again. Alright, apologies. Still audio on YouTube? Yeah, no, it's all good. I'm gonna restart the stream. It's BBO's fault? It could be. Why does this happen? Why does this keep happening? Alright, I'm going to restart stream. I will be back in just a minute.